What if Godzilla, the king of the monsters, was real? Now that's a question that has intrigued and bewildered many of us. Godzilla, a creature of immense size and power, has been a prominent figure in pop culture for decades, originating from Japanese cinema and literature. The concept of Godzilla is an intriguing one. A gigantic, dinosaur-like creature, standing at a staggering 100 meters tall, with the ability to emit destructive atomic breath. This is not just any monster, this is a force of nature, a titan, a god. Now let's take a moment and imagine a world where this colossal creature isn't contained to the silver screen or the pages of a book. What if instead, Godzilla was an entity that existed in our reality? The scale of such a creature would be beyond our comprehension, and the power it holds absolutely terrifying. Imagine the sheer chaos and terror that would ensue if such a creature were to appear in our world. Let's delve into that nightmare scenario. Considering Godzilla's colossal size and power, our cities would be the first to feel the brunt of his arrival. Let's break this down. Godzilla, standing at a staggering 120 meters tall, would dwarf even the tallest skyscrapers. His immense mass, coupled with his ability to generate and unleash energy beams, would make him a walking weapon of mass destruction. Imagine this. Godzilla strides through a city, every footstep causing mini earthquakes, shaking the foundations of buildings and bridges. Structures that have stood for centuries could crumble in a matter of seconds. Our architectural marvels, symbols of human ingenuity and achievement, would be reduced to rubble. But the damage wouldn't stop at physical destruction. The economic implications would be just as catastrophic. The cost of rebuilding would be astronomical, far surpassing the budgets of even the wealthiest nations. Economies would be brought to their knees, thrust into a state of recession or even depression that could last for decades. Now consider the ripple effect. The destruction of major cities would disrupt global trade, causing prices of goods to skyrocket and plunging the world into an economic crisis. Yet, perhaps the most tragic impact would be on human life. The loss of life would be immense. Millions of people would be displaced, their homes and livelihoods destroyed. Emergency services would be overwhelmed, unable to cope with the sheer scale of the disaster. The human cost would be incalculable, the psychological trauma immeasurable. In short, the arrival of a creature like Godzilla would be an unprecedented catastrophe. Our cities, our economies, our very way of life would be shattered. The devastation would be akin to the worst natural disasters humanity has ever experienced. Beyond the immediate destruction, Godzilla's presence would also have profound ecological consequences. Just imagine the sheer scale of a creature like Godzilla. Its towering stature and thunderous footsteps would not only disrupt, but could potentially decimate local ecosystems. Forests flattened, rivers rerouted, mountains crumbled. The habitats of countless species would be obliterated, leading to mass extinction events. But it's not just the physical damage. Godzilla, with its origins steeped in nuclear energy, could bring about widespread radiation poisoning. From the smallest microorganisms to the largest mammals, no living thing would be safe. Radiation can cause severe mutations, illnesses, and death. The genetic makeup of entire species could be altered, leading to unpredictable evolutionary outcomes. Plant life, too, would suffer under Godzilla's nuclear shadow. Radiation can stunt growth, cause deformities, and even kill plants outright. This would lead to a ripple effect throughout the food chain, affecting herbivores and subsequently the carnivores that prey on them. And let's not forget the global implications. Godzilla's nuclear energy could potentially contaminate the atmosphere, leading to changes in weather patterns and even contributing to global warming. Oceanic ecosystems, too, could be devastated if Godzilla were to take a dip, spreading radiation and causing massive marine die-offs. The ecological fallout could render large swaths of the planet uninhabitable for years, even decades. The world as we know it would be forever changed by the arrival of one single unimaginable creature, Godzilla. Faced with such a colossal threat, how would humanity respond? This is the question we find ourselves grappling with. Our first instinct might be to fight back. The military across nations would likely rally to combat this Godzilla-sized menace. We're talking about a coordinated global effort that would see the deployment of the most advanced weaponry available. In the direst of circumstances, even nuclear weapons might come into play despite the horrifying implications of their use. But it's not all about the fight. There's also the vast logistical challenge of managing the disaster on the ground. Evacuations would need to be swift and extensive, with the safety of millions at stake. Governments and humanitarian organizations would need to work hand in hand to ensure that those affected are provided with the necessary resources to survive. And then, there's the psychological toll. Imagine the widespread fear that would grip society, the threat of Godzilla looming over us. This fear could potentially lead to societal breakdown, with panic and chaos becoming the order of the day. We'd be forced to confront our own fragility, our own mortality. The arrival of Godzilla, a force of nature so raw and unfettered, would be a stark reminder of our place in the grand scheme of things. The arrival of Godzilla would force humanity to confront its own fragility in the face of nature's raw, unfettered power. In the aftermath of Godzilla's rampage, the world would be a drastically different place. Society as we know it may teeter on the brink of collapse. The unimaginable scale of destruction could trigger mass migrations as people scramble to find safety and rebuild their lives. Infrastructure, once the symbol of human progress, would lie in ruins, and the ecological balance would be forever altered. Yet in the face of such devastation, humanity's capacity for adaptation could shine through. We've navigated the tumultuous waters of change before, and this would be no different. The presence of Godzilla could force us to redefine societal norms, leading to a new world order. We might see communities banding together, pooling resources, and innovating in ways we can hardly imagine now. In the end, the reality of Godzilla would be a stark reminder of our place in the natural order and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. That's all for Nifty Narrations.